Hi, everyone. Thanks you for joining us for another episode of the Voices for Voices TV show and podcast. I am your host, founder, and executive director of Voices for Voices, Justin Allen Hayes. We are ecstatic to be where we're at episode-wise, over 250 episodes, well on our way to a total of in studio and out of studio episodes, totaling at least 300 by the end of calendar year 2025. And we want to thank each and every one of you. If this is your first time tuning in, or if you've been with us from the beginning, we can't do this without your love and support. If you can give us a thumbs up, a subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, that's free to do, and that will help us continue on our huge goal of wanting to help 3 billion people over the course of my lifetime and beyond. This episode, like all episodes, are very powerful, important topics, and it's great timing for our guest here today, a sexual abuse survivor, a law changer, just like Elston Berry with a Take It Down Act that just got signed into law. The Take It Down law signed by President Trump, making altering photos, putting those up, a felony. They can be prosecuted, as well as big tech has 48 hours to take those photos down. And uh, just like Ellison, our guest, Kathy Picard is a law changer. She's actually we're just so grateful. She's been with us from the very beginning of Voices for Voices when we started out as an event. She was one of the keynote speakers talking about her experiences and inspiring people to come forward, to uh, talk to their children about their private parts, and that if somebody, a stranger, is asking and touching them inappropriately, that's not okay, and that is no more evident than in Kathy Picard's book I Love You So Much, that in the previous episode we shared a little bit of that content. Books available everywhere. Amazon, it's in English, it's in Spanish, and we were just so grateful for Kathy to join us today. Thank you for joining us, Kathy.
Thank you, thank you. And like you said, we definitely have a history. Just we go way back. I think, oh my goodness, it must be like at least 3, 4 years.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we definitely have a history. That goes to say that this particular topic, sexual abuse, is in the forefront. It's always been there. More people are standing up, more people are using their voices, and that's very important to do because sexual abuse, unfortunately, it will never go away. It's all You're always going to have instances, you're always going to have predators, you're people that are harming our kids, and we need to give them the voice that they need to be able to say, Mom, Dad, Auntie, Uncle, this is happening to me. Telling their teacher is very important, not having people shun them away and tell them not to talk about it. It's too personal. That little child is going home and being touched inappropriately. We need to stop that. The youngest I heard is a 2-month-old baby. It's very scary. It's happening. And really, we need to help these kids. I speak not only for the kids, but to helping other survivors, men and women, to use their voice to get the help that they need. It's not their fault. They're not alone. The best thing to do that I've learned is to talk about it. Get the counseling that you need, but go on living a happy, healthy life because damn, you deserve it. Everybody deserves to have this in their life. And my husband calls me a chatty Cathy, so that's fine. I've
Mhm.
been doing this for about 25 years, going out speaking, hospitals, colleges, um, different organizations for kids, YMCA, Boys and Girls Club. As Justin said, I wrote a children's book that he kindly read to you, parts of it. I love you so much that I ask you to brush your teeth, wear a coat, pay attention to your teacher, not to talk to strangers. They're all life lessons and why you should do this. It's so important to read this book to the kids. It's for 2 to 9-year-olds, but letting them know, one, you're taking the time to read them a book. You're taking that time. I was never read a children's book. I was plopped down in front of the TV. That's one of the reasons why I did write this children's book, besides helping to keep kids safer. And it's amazing of how many people, one of the parts in this book is to keep your private parts private. I am being told by some schools, some institutions, that's too private. You can't say that. What is wrong with the words private parts? They're saying worse words than these. They're handing out condoms. Why can't we say private parts? What is so wrong with that? I just don't understand. That just amazes me, So I'm glad that I wrote the book. Some schools have said, Cathy, if you take that particular page out, we will allow you to come in.
Mm.
No, I'm not taking that page out. And damn you for not allowing these kids to get this resource in their life. It's not up to the schools. It's up to the parents. If the parents chose not to have that child be sitting in that particular reading environment, then that's up to the parents. It's not up to the schools. And I'm going to
Yeah,
keep going until I get into as many schools as possible to give that opportunity to the kids. The kids love it. They love seeing my little dog Abby in there. She paw signs the books. They love that. The pages are so colorful, and I give them toothbrushes, I give them paw stickers, but it's important to show these kids they are loved. They are being told that. I
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah, and that's I think that's important. It appears, and we're finding out on other issues where uh you know individuals, organizations, people, they say they support a topic or a thing, and I'll just throw the human trafficking survivors and uh in with the with the sexual abuse survivor, any survivor that's gone through trauma
Mhm.
that I can't even fathom what what you've gone through, or a human trafficking survivor. It really it's just crazy to me the people to say, "Oh, I support you. I support what you're doing, your advocacy." But then when it
Mhm.
comes down to actual supporting it and
Yeah,
stepping forward and saying, "I stand with Kathy, I stand with David, I stand with Justin," and
yeah,
all the because like you said, it's bigger than us. It's not just for one child, one person. This is a public safety concern that we're bringing to the forefront. And that's why I love having you on and sharing your story, your message, your advocacy, your book, because it's time to step out of the shadows. It's
mhm,
time to come forward. Yeah, it's maybe an uncomfortable topic or subject, uh, but how do you want your children to find out? Do you want them to find out from you as a
yeah,
parent, a guardian, or like you mentioned, or do you want them to find out from a teacher, a school, being told? So that's it's just huge, and
yeah,
uh, thank you for everything you have done, and you're still continuing to do, because this is a huge problem in society, and people like you are giving a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah, and it's there are, like you mentioned, there's other people besides us, Justin. There is Enough Abuse campaign. They're wonderful in Boston. They're working on helping to change the laws. They're working on extending the time frame for justice for survivors. They are working on not passing teachers school to school, priests church to church. They are working on so many bills now that's a no-brainer that they need to be passed. So right as we speak, they are working on these bills. So shout out to Enough Abuse, Massachusetts Children's Alliance, Child Help. There's so many, even Mariska Haggerty, Law and Order. She's got people that contact her that are survivors. So there are a lot of organizations, two particular for men, 1in6.org, malesurvivor.org. It's just amazing of organizations out there, but we get the bar strapped down in front of us not to go forward. And that's wrong. And you're
Mhm.
right. Being a survivor from 7 to 17, I'm 62, I'm going to be 63 in August, but it's like, it doesn't stop. Yes, I was a quiet, shy child when I was sexually abused from 7 to 17, 10 years. And people are like, oh my God, 10 years once is too much,
Mhm.
but 10 years of this monster sexually abusing me. And it's like people don't realize, he worked for Toys for Tots, he volunteered, he did this, he did that, he was so great. It's the people that you least expect it, but it's people that are known to these kids. 93%, they know who their abusers are. It's not stranger danger. Thankfully, they're not really talking too much about stranger danger because it's not. It's people that are known to this family. And shame on, it's a shame that we can't have kids go to sleepovers because it's not who's in the family, but who is walking through that door. Is it somebody that's known to somebody that's known to somebody that's a perpetrator? Is it the neighbor coming over to say hi and doing something inappropriate to that kid? So the kids can't even have a sleepover. Like, how sad is that? But it's sad what I went through. So many have gone through it, men and women. It'll never go away, but he doesn't win. I win. Um, going out, like you mentioned, writing my book, Life with My Idiot Family. It's a true story of survival, courage, and justice over childhood sexual abuse. My husband and I took us 5 years to write this book, and it was hard. My husband learned more about me in those 5 years as a child than he ever knew. But to go through that time period of me as a innocent child and going through abuse, it was hard to write, let alone speak on Audible. I had to do it. I did it in my own voice, but speaking my story on Audible, it was hard. You're in a closet, and the producer, Ed, who is wonderful, said, Kathy, he's in another room. Kathy, stop wiping your hands on your pants. And I go, you hear that? He goes, I hear everything. Don't burp, don't fart, don't do anything. 'Cause I hear everything. So it's like, it was hard to do that, but my story is out there. It's reached as far as Serbia. 900 people have listened to the Audible. And I still get idiot members of the family. There she goes again. Oh my God, she's looking for attention. She's doing this, she's doing that. I didn't go to college. My story is lived experience. And shame on those that feel like she's talking about it again. You'll never get it. You'll never understand. But a survivor, some can't tell their story. And I'm fortunate and I'm happy to tell my story because I want to help others to go through it. And I'm never going to help everybody. But Justin, as you said, our time here on earth, what have you done? Are you a me person, or are you a me too person sharing your story? Don't be so, I don't even have words for it, but don't just be a narcissist or don't be all about yourself, helping other people. And as you know, if we go tomorrow, the legacy we've left behind, I'm proud of it, and
Mhm.
so I continue on. I went through a brain tumor at the end of during my trial. I found out that I had a brain tumor. I'm like, oh, can't get that done yet because I've been fighting to help to change the laws in Massachusetts. After the law changed, after my trial ended, then it was time to get my noggin cut open and
Mm,
have this brain tumor removed in 2015. But I'm still here. I survived and it wasn't my time to go.
mhm,
But it was important for me to change these laws, to get the laws extended for survivors to go forward. And in Massachusetts, there's criminal and there's civil. Criminal changed September 21st, 2006. So instead of a survivor being 31, a survivor as it stands currently can be up to the age of 43 years old and go forward. And people think, oh my God, it's so long, it's so long. But you got to have that time when you feel comfortable, when you're ready for that fight, because it is a true fight. I couldn't get my stepfather, who sexually abused me, through a criminal charge, which I would have loved to throw him in jail, have him register as a sex offender, which he'll never have to do, which is not right. That's another law
mhm,
that we need to change. Um, so I did fight him on civil. The civil law did change June 26, 2014, and that gave a survivor a huge increase. So instead of being 21 years old, they can, and it still stands 53 years old. You have until 53 years old to go and fight for the abuse that you endured. And that's huge. There really should be no time frame.
mhm,
The only crime is murder where there's no time frame. And in fact, being sexually abused, you are murdering a child's innocence. So that's why I feel as though we should step up like the other 6 or 7 states where there's no time frame. And that needs to take place. But going through my trial was held in federal court after the laws changed. So November 2nd to the 6th, 2015 was when I had my trial in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I won my trial and I'm still fighting the fight. You
yeah,
know, um, he says, I have no money, I have no money, but it's not about the money because it's really
mm.
dirty money, but he needs to pay for what his actions that he did to me.
Absolutely. We have like 30 seconds left. Can you just plug your book, where you can find it, and all that?
So Life with My Idiot Family, you can find it in Audible, it's on Kindle and in book format on Amazon. If you're looking for bulk for many of them, you can reach out to me, Kathy Child Advocate at gmail.com. I love you so much.
Mhm.
That is my kids' book, Wicked, Wicked Cute. I gotta show you the pages, how colorful they are.
Ah,
And then it's also in the bilingual Spanish and in English, the same book, but it has activity pages in it. So please support me, get
mhm.
my book, read it to a child, give it out at a baby shower, just give it to a neighbor just to help to keep our kids safer. And Justin, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all